Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I thought I'd show you how I made this fun little Fortune Teller Tabby card. And I wanted it to look kind of like an old fortune teller machine that you might find at a new amusement park. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be doing our stamping using the Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock. And we're going to start off with this die set here. And this is called the Your Clawsome die set. And we're going to be doing some masking on there, and also going to be using those stars up at the top as well. So here's the stamp, and I'm putting a piece of white paper back there so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm masking off all the little critters inside the machine. And I'm just using some small post-it tape to do that. And then I've cut another smaller piece to block off that little lever that's on the machine. So now what I can do is use my VersaFine Onyx Black ink and go ahead and ink that up. I want to make sure that I remove my post-it tape before I do my stamping, and just use your finger to just brush away any excess ink that might have gotten where you didn't want it to be. So now I'm going to press this out, and I'm using the Misty Stamp Positioner to do this. And you can see that I get a perfect stamping. Now I'm going to grab that row of stars, and I'm going to place it in that upper section of the machine here. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that as well. So now we have the base for the machine. Now I did get a little ink where I didn't want it to be, so I'm using my Mono Sand Eraser just to erase any of those little smudges of ink that I had there. So now I'm placing the die on here and taping it down with a little bit of purple tape and running it through my machine. Now I want to cut that center out, so I could use a X-Acto knife and a cutting mat, but I'm going to use my Fiskars paper trimmer to do this. And you can see that if you line up the blade, there's a little notch right in the center there, so you know exactly where you're lined up. And there's little arrows on either side of the blade, so you know exactly where your blade is positioned. So I'm just going to go ahead around all four sides with this technique and just cut this center part out of the machine here. And again, if you want to use scissors or an X-Acto blade, whatever you feel most comfortable with here is the way to go. So now that I have that little piece all cut out, I'm going to go, and I did decide to trim a little bit more off that left side there, so I went ahead and did that. Now for this little portion down at the bottom, I want the fortune to be coming out of the machine right there. So I'm going to put a little slit here, and I'm using my X-Acto knife and my cutting mat to make a little slit there at the bottom. So now I'm going to be using this stamp and that little sentiment later on, and this is the Fortune Teller Tabby stamp set from Lawn Fawn. And then I'm going to be using the two little kids and the cell phone, and this is from the Screen Time set. And then I'm going to be using the roller coaster, the flag, the little trains that go on the track there, the ice cream, and the ticket. And all of those are from the Coaster Critters set. And I do want 3 of those flags and 2 of the little cell phones. And I also want to stamp the word very happy inside this little globe here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my stamping. So I've lined up that sentiment and stamped it right in the center there. Now I'm going to grab my coordinating dies and some purple tape and run these through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. And now you can see I have all these little pieces cut out. So I'm going to be doing the coloring using the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens, and we're starting with yellow and orange. And these are a water-based marker, and I'm going to be using the blender pen to do my blending. And I don't need to color this whole table because some of it's going to be hidden in our fortune telling machine. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend the yellow and orange, the lightest color first, then I'm adding the darker color and blending that out. And then with violet and lilac, I'm going to do the table. And again, I'm starting with the lighter color, adding the darker color, and I kind of want the center of the table to be the lightest. So I'm going to add that darker color along the sides here. And these are a water-based marker. You can blend them with the Zig blender pen, or you can use a water brush. So you can see I'm adding that darker color, and then I'm cleaning off my blender pen in between colors, and you'll know that it's clean when you scribble it on a piece of scrap paper and it goes clear. And when you're blending, if you get a little too much color on your pen, you can always scribble that extra color off on your scrap paper as well, and then continue to blend. So it's really easy to lift off color if you need to. If it's getting too dark, just lift off some color, scribble it on your scrap paper, and go back to blending. So now for the little bandana, I'm going to do the same thing, just adding the lighter color across the top and the darker color on each side there, and just kind of pulling it towards the center. Now to do the little ice cream, I'm using the same two colors again, and just putting that color on either side of the ice cream and then pulling towards the center. And I'm going to do the same thing here, same colors for her little shirt. And again, I'm going to use those same two colors to do the flag. And for the flag, I just added a little color off to the left side and pulled it towards the right. And for the globe, I'm using the light blue. I'm just putting it around each side and then pulling towards the center. The middle part will primarily be white. And then with the sugared almond pink, I'm doing the cheeks, and with the gray brown, I'm going to color in this little tabby. Now using black, I'm going to do the base of the globe here. And again, just pulling towards the center. Just dabbing off my pen if it gets too much color on it. Now with light gray and dark gray, I'm going to just color in the roller coaster. And I'm just adding a little bit of the darker color down at the bottom and pulling it up towards the top. And I added a little shadow on all of those little X's in between there. I did the same thing for that other piece, and I did the same colors for that little cell phone. And now I'm using the flesh color and the sugared almond pink to do her face and her arms. And with the cornflower blue, I'm going to do the pants, the little blue jeans on both the little boy and the girl. And I did color his face in the exact same way as I did for the little girl. And I'm just keeping it the lightest up towards the top there. Now with yellow and light brown, I'm going to do her hair. Just adding that darker color kind of up underneath her hair there and at the part line. I just wanted to create a little bit of depth there at the part. And then I'm just going to kind of pull that over to the side. And then with oatmeal and brown, I'm going to do his hair. And with the dark brown, I'm going to add just a little bit more depth to his hair here. I thought it got a little too reddish looking, so I'm adding a little bit more brown. And now with the wine red, I'm going to do his little shirt. And again, going back to that dark brown, I'm going to do the shoes. And for hers, I'm going to use the light gray. Now with wine red, yellow, and cornflower blue, I'm going to color in all the rest of these little pieces. And I'm going to do that second cell phone with the sugared almond pink. Now with dark gray, I'm going to do the little area here where my little fortune is going to come spitting out. And I'm just going to keep the center part the lightest. And I'm using that same color to do the little legs on the fortune teller machine. And I'm also going to go around this frame with this color as well. Just doing a little bit of color in each of the corners and then pulling it up and across. Now here I've got dark brown, oatmeal, and black. And I want to color in the fortune telling machine and give it kind of an aged look. So you could color this any color you want, but I wanted to get like the look of this old machine in this brand new amusement park. So that's kind of the look I was going for. So I started with the oatmeal color and then I added the dark brown, and I'm just blending that dark brown into the center. Just kind of trying to get it the lightest in the center portion. And again, if you get too much ink on your brush, you can always just grab that ink and scribble it onto your scrap paper. And you can see me doing that there, just kind of removing some color. Now I did show you the black. I didn't end up using the black, but if you wanted to give this a little bit more of a darker look, you could add a little bit of black around the edges and pull that in as well. But when I was done here, I ended up liking the way this looked. And I didn't want it to be perfect. Again, I kind of wanted it to look a little bit faded and old. And I did the top part the exact same way. So now, using the sparkle cardstock in the holiday with my Shadow Box Card Theater add-on, I'm going to go ahead and die cut the curtains out of the red sparkle paper and the tie backs out of the gold. Now I thought these were a little too new looking, so I'm going to take my black soot, Distress Oxide, and I'm just going to age these a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of color around the sides, and then I'm kind of pulling those little folds away there and tucking a little bit of color in between each of those little folds as well. Just to dull this out a little bit, again, because I'm going for kind of an older looking machine. And I'm going to do the same thing with the gold as well. Now I did decide to die cut a second panel for the machine because that's going to be the back part of the machine here. And I'm going to add a little bit of black soot right down the center there, and that will show behind the curtains. So I'm just applying it really quickly with my applicator tool. Now with these two cardstocks, the Bristol Smooth and from the Lawn Fawn Neutral cardstock, I'm going to use that gray. Then I'm using the largest die from the outside in stitched rectangle stackables, and I'm going to die cut 2 of those, one out of the Bristol Smooth and one out of the gray. With this gray cardstock, I only need part of this. So I want it to come up to about there. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And I'm cutting it at 2.5 inches. Now I want to add a little bit of color around the edges of this gray panel, so I'm going back to the Black Soot Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that black all the way around, leaving the center the lightest. And that's going to sit on the bottom of the card here. Now using milled lavender, dusty concord, and chipped sapphire, I'm going to do the sky. So I'm starting with my lightest color, and I'm just going to apply that all over just this top section here, just the part that's going to show. And then I'm coming in with my medium color. And then I'm going to add the chipped sapphire down at the bottom. So I want the sky to be the darkest at the bottom here. And then I'm just going to go back in reverse order with my applicators from medium to light and just blend that out. And you can see that there. So now I'm taking my Distress sprayer. It just has a little bit of water in it, and I'm going to spritz this and blot it up, and that's going to give me a nice textured sky. And then using the liquid stardust from Lawn Fawn, I'm going to shake it up really well, and then I'm going to place a little bit on my glass medium mat, and I'm going to go ahead and spatter some of this sparkle into the sky as well. And then I'm going to heat set that. And you can see that beautiful sparkle we get. So now for my card, I'm going to make a standard A2 size card. So I've cut my paper 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to go ahead and score that at 4.25. And then I'm adding some Lawn Fawn 1/4 inch double-sided tape on the back of this gray panel, and I'm going to attach that. And then I'm just taking my applicator tool in the black and going right around the edges there, and then one of the purple applicators and going around the top just to take that white edge away. Now I've gone ahead and attached that to my card. Now I can start to add my little pieces here. So I'm adding the 3 flags to the roller coaster. And I'm using my Lawn Fawn glue to do this. And then I'm going to add the little train onto the roller coaster here. Now I do want to cut away a little bit of that edge there, so I'm just going to cut off about 1/4 inch there and line that up right along the edge. I've applied glue all over the back, and I'm just taping that down. So going back to the Fortune Teller Tabby stamp set, I'm grabbing this sentiment here that says "Your future is." And we're going to create a little wavy ticket or piece of paper that's coming out of our fortune telling machine. So I'm just going to follow the curve of the sentiment here, and I'm just using my scissors to cut this out. You can see that there. And then I'm taking my Black Soot applicator and just without adding any ink, just going around the edges of that just to give it a little bit of an aged look. And then that's going to fit right in that slit that we cut earlier. So it's kind of look like the fortune is coming right out of the machine there. And I just want to cut it on a little bit of an angle here so that it doesn't hang too far below the machine, because that is right at the bottom of our card. So I'm just kind of adjusting that, and then I'm going to flip this over and glue that into place. So now we can go ahead and add all of our little pieces behind here. So we're going to go ahead and add the little tabby right behind this window here. And then we're going to add the curtains. So these are the little tie backs for the curtains. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those first. And then we're going to just attach the curtains to the back here. And I'm just placing an acrylic block on there so that just to let that dry. So now we can go ahead and add some 1/4-inch double-sided tape all across the back of this machine. And I'm adding a couple little dots of glue down there on the feet of the machine. And then I'm going to attach these two panels together. And you'll see that that black shows through from behind the curtains, just a little bit of it. And now I just love how this looks. I just think this is so cute. So now I'm using my Gina K foam squares, and I'm going to place these all over the back of this machine, and I just want to pop this up a little bit. And now I can add my the little kids here, and I'm just going to again add some Gina K foam squares to the back of them, and I'm going to pop them up as well. And the little boy is going to be holding the ice cream, and the little girl is going to be holding the ticket. So the sentiment is your future is very happy, and it sure looks like they're having a great day. So again, I wanted this old machine in a new amusement park just for the, I don't know, just for the difference of the two. I just thought it would be kind of a fun concept. So I'm adding some glitter using the Lawn Fawn glitter pen, just randomly adding it where I think it should be, and cleaning off the glitter pen in between colors because I don't want to transfer colors. Again, we're using water-based markers, so you do want to be careful with that. And this glitter pen adds a lot of texture to the card. So I hope I inspired you today to take a look at some of the stamps and dies you already have and maybe do something different with them. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. And don't forget that all the supplies I used in today's video are listed below, and they're also listed on my blog. So I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.